That's what you need when you're talking about ice there. You get next to a cozy fire. That's when I can enjoy when it's really cold outside, when you're bundled up next to a fire. We're showing you this morning, it is 6 o'clock. We were talking about the ice skating that is available at Bicentennial Plaza, but I would love to just watch people ice skate and then I can sit next to the fire.
Yes, I was going to say, that's where I would be. So they are about just starting to put down the ice for the year. You can see the guy there in the background spraying. I'm guessing that's probably just water, right? And just wait until it freezes. I'm not a professional ice skating rink installer, but that looks to me what he's doing.
Holiday Park, by the way, is where we're showing you the live shot this morning. It is 6 o'clock. It is Wednesday morning. We've got a weather impact alert. But before we get to that, you just know by now that it is going to be a cold start. It is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we're going to talk a lot about travel today, too.
Oh, my gosh, so important. Now a lot of people are starting to talk about the return home from Thanksgiving, Matt, but we got to get through this wind today. You say at least by tomorrow, our Christmas tree lighting tomorrow night in downtown Indy, this wind will have died down.
Thank goodness, because we're talking about gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Do you see that fire trying to hold on? That's because it's a fire table.
Sideways in the wind.
We were trying to warm up, but hey, nothing's going to keep you warm today. When you're inside, enjoy it, because when you're outside today, wind chills will be in the teens and 20s during the daylight hours. We've got snow showers on the way. They're going to look more festive rather than be impactful. What's going to be impactful will be that wind. So that's why we have the weather impact alert, because especially between 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock into the afternoon, we're going to have some winds up to 50 miles per hour. We have already had 40+ mile per hour wind gusts in Muncie, Columbus, and Indianapolis. And it's just 6 o'clock this morning. We think that wind is just going to get a little bit higher. You've got to make sure your Christmas decorations, if you've already put them outside, that they're ready to go, especially the inflatables. They'll be gone if you don't deflate them or try to really pull and tighten them up. But just bundle up in general. There could also be a couple power outages, but usually you have higher power outage numbers when the leaves are still on the trees, so there's more weight, or there's ice and snow on the trees. So could be a couple. Just make sure your device is extra charged, and so you can look at your device and see what temperature is it outside again, and then think, nope, not going out there, because we're talking about windy weather. This yellowish orange color shows you where you're going to have the potential for up to 50 mile per hour winds. So we're talking about tropical storm force gusts out there. Those are not fun in the month of November. That's for most of us today. So hold on today. Right now here in Indy, we're sitting at 39 degrees. We have now dropped to the 30s, and colder air continues to rush in. Coming up, we'll let you know how cold the rest of your Thanksgiving week will be. Plus, snow chances this weekend. I do want to touch on traffic though this morning. A couple different crashes we need to get to. I'll start with a map and then I'll show you some cameras. I-70 West approaching the Greenfield exit, slow with a crash. And I-65 South on the north end of Eagle Creek coming towards Indianapolis is also slow. This is Hancock County. I apologize, the cameras are shaking a lot because of that wind. It looks like we still have at least one lane open as you're coming to Greenfield. These are the westbound lanes. And then I-65 South looks a little bit better this morning by Traders Point.
All right, thank you, Matt. We want to remind our viewers, too, that if you do not have this tool to take on the go, our Doppler 13 weather app is a great tool, especially if you are traveling or if you just have family that is coming in town. They can track the change in temperature, too. And when some snow might hit our area, it's a free download in your phone's app store if you don't have it already. Well, new this morning, we just learned earlier today that Metro Police have confirmed a fatal crash overnight on the city's southeast side.
I want to show you the map so you know where this happened exactly. Police responded to a report of an accident. This is Southeastern Avenue, just east of Arlington Avenue. You can see that marked here off of 74. Officers say they found 2 vehicles involved in this crash around 11 o'clock last night.
A passenger in a red Chrysler in this crash was taken to the hospital. We know that victim did not survive. The IMPD fatal crash investigation team is looking into what caused the crash and how the other driver in this is doing.
Well, developing this morning, police say they shot and killed a man wanted, and he was a semi-truck driver they were trying to talk to yesterday.
IMPD says that in those attempts to talk with him, he didn't comply to orders to surrender. This unfolded yesterday afternoon in Franklin. Police say the suspect was wanted on multiple felony charges, and that's just the starting point here.
Alex Almanza is looking into this investigation.
All right, here's the latest on that police shooting in Franklin that you might have heard about. IMPD's Violent Crimes Unit, SWAT, and a Franklin officer tracked a wanted fugitive to a semi-truck off Mitsubishi Parkway. They say the man, 37-year-old Robert Bito, was wanted on multiple felony charges and was also a person of interest in a recent homicide. Officers surrounded the truck, gave repeated commands, and ISP says they even used several de-escalation tools, but Beto wouldn't come out. That's when officers opened fire. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition and later died. ISP says a shotgun was found inside the cab. No officers were hurt, and now both ISP and IMPD are doing parallel investigations into the shooting.
Thank you, Alex. As you heard, there are a lot of investigations that seem to be unfolding with this story, so we'll keep you updated if they're able to share any new developments with us on air and online.
And now to our other story this morning. Two Greenwood parents now facing felony charges after a fight on a school bus.
Yeah, the court documents share what police say happened on Halloween when two parents allegedly got on a school bus without permission. Our Marina Silva is here in studio with what she's learning about what happened after they got on the bus. Good morning, Marina.
Good morning, ladies. Well, these charges were just filed this week, and based on court documents, it looks like this all started from allegations of bullying. Now, 27-year-old Donquarius Ridley and 25-year-old Raven Barner are facing multiple felony charges. The Johnson County prosecutor says the two parents got on the bus and started yelling at multiple students. When Greenwood police got there, the two were arrested. While looking at the video footage from the bus, the officer found out Barner told a child she was going to beat him up using a profanity. Court docs say two kids started arguing back with Barner. That's when she hit multiple students. While that's happening, court documents say Ridley is allegedly shown in the video throwing a child on the ground and having his son hit the kid. The bus driver tells police she did not give the parents permission to board the bus. Johnson County prosecutor Lance Hamner says this isn't something that happens very often.
You're not allowed to board a bus unless the bus driver invites you to, and you certainly can't lay your hands on somebody else's child. They are presumed innocent unless they're proven guilty. It is something that we don't see very often, and we're glad of that.
Well, I've been checking all morning, and neither of the two are currently listed in the Johnson County Jail, but they do have court hearings coming up next week. Riddler has his on December 1st, while Barner has hers on December 4th.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Marina, for that update. Well, this morning, a tragic update at 6:07. We have learned that a young mother murdered in her Indianapolis home early yesterday morning was the victim of a vandalism report actually filed hours before she was found.
So we're now getting a new look and new information at the scene where this happened. There were at least 7 bullet holes found in the front door of her apartment where this shooting happened. You can see that here. This is near Thompson Road in US 31. That's on the south side of Indy. 26-year-old Amanda Jones died in this shooting. Her 2-year-old, who was in the home at the time, was not hurt. She's now with the Department of Child Services.
We did reach back out to Metro Police, and they tell us that vandalism report came in Monday around 4. And they also say the 2 people that were first detained for questioning in this shooting have been released.
Well, state lawmakers have announced they will start the 2026 general legislative session early on Monday.
They'll cover a wide range of issues. We know the big one that's up for discussion, that has been up for discussion for a while, is redistricting. Anna Chalker live this morning. What's the timeline of this session looking like?
Well, ladies, it'll all start in the House. They'll be starting on Monday. And this is despite lawmakers voting to actually start this general session in January. January 5th was supposed to be that start date, but Todd Huston said they wanted to move it up to this Monday so they could start looking at maps and looking at redistricting. So once it's all done in the House, it'll then move over to the Senate. President Pro Tem Rod Bray says they will meet the following week on the 8th to discuss their side of redistricting. And this change comes after Bray said multiple times the votes to change the state's congressional map are not in the Senate. That came with some pushback from the governor and even from President Donald Trump. State Rep Craig Howard, who's running for District 4, says he's glad both chambers have decided to take up this issue.
I'm kind of glad now we know something. I think part of the frustration was not knowing what's going to happen. We still haven't, as far as I know, seen any maps. So it'll be good to finally see that so we can evaluate whether we think it's good or bad.
Governor Braun responded to this decision on X, saying Hoosiers deserve fair representation in Washington, and now the General Assembly needs to deliver a 9-0 map, which will help level the playing field. Now, House Democrats have responded to this move made by Todd Huston, and they are saying this is against the rules within the House. So coming up, we'll look into why they are saying that and their thoughts on this upcoming session.
All right, we're looking forward to hearing from that. Thank you, Anna. Some new details this morning for a proposed data center in northern Indiana. We now know that Amazon plans to build a $15 billion facility in Hobart. The Hobart mayor, Josh Huddleston, tells us that they are finalizing the deal. Let's show you where this is. It's near Gary in Lake County on this map here. City officials tell us that it will be added to a new technology park that is there. The idea is to put this data center development into one dedicated zone. And the mayor says they want to address the community's concerns. A lot of asked about the water and utilities that something this size would use along the way. The mayor says the deal still has to go through the Hobart City Council, the Planning Commission, and have some more reviews then. We do have an in-depth breakdown about this plan, where this is supposed to go, and what happens next on WTHR.com.
Coming up on 6/11 tomorrow, President Trump's his deadline that he set for Ukraine and Russia to agree to a proposal ending their war. The president's latest push for both sides to sign on.
And a woman discharged from an Indiana hospital while in labor. This is a story that made headlines nationwide. You've likely seen this video scrolling on social media. Well, now one lawmaker is weighing in. What they say needs to happen to keep all pregnant women safe.